share with you. I told earlier this morning, I shared that I have had to be away from you with my grandmother who had surgery. And Sydney also, well, what kind of surgery did she have? So she had to have brain surgery. She had fallen and she hit her head, and so she had to have surgery to repair what was messed up. And so part of that, and part of it is she's older. So part of it is that she's very confused right now. And something that happened yesterday was I was sitting with her, and I was sitting with her, and she said, "Hey," I said, "I'm here." She said, "Is it daytime or nighttime?" And I said, "Well, Mama, there's a window right there, the sun's shining, it's daytime." She said, "Okay." And I just happened to look up at the clock, and at the time that she asked me that, it was 9:15. And it was a.m. It was a.m. Good question, Mia. So she's happy. I told her it was daytime. Okay. Yeah, you can say it. And then I said, "Well, okay, we're gonna move on." Well, and just it seemed like no time. She said, "Hey." I leaned up. I said, "Yep, still here." She said, "Is it daytime or nighttime?"
2 minutes later.
And I said, "Well, Mama, I just told you it's daytime. Look out the window, the sun's shining." She said, "Oh." So she sat back in her chair and she was fine. And I looked at the clock, and it was really short. And the clock said
9:17 I want you to go to bed.
9:17. She was sitting up it was a chair in the room that she was sitting up in.
Yeah,
So it was 9:17 a.m. Well, then I got comfortable. I said, "Okay, fine. Maybe she just forgot. Whatever." So a few minutes later, "Hey!" I said, "It's daytime." I just said it. I knew she was going to ask me. She said, "What time is it? Daytime or nighttime?" I said, "It's daytime. The sun is shining."
Right after you say the answer.
So then I looked at the clock. I was like, that took her a little bit longer that time. And sure enough, it was 9:30 when I looked up that time. Still a.m., still daytime. And then I got to thinking, so then it was 9:30. So as Topher has nicely described for us, the first time she asked me was 9:15. The next time she asked me was 9:17. The next time she asked me, the clock said 9:30. Now, how many times did she ask me? 3. And so I got to thinking about, I wonder how much time passed in between each time. Because that's something that her doctor would want to know, right? Oh, I'll tell that part later. So then I thought, and I was thinking about you guys, and I was really tired and I couldn't read the clock across the room, but I got to thinking about how this time would be, like if I put it on a number line, because I can imagine that in my head. So from 9:15 to 9:17, how many minutes would that be?
2 minutes.
In about 2. And I could show that by going +1, +2. So that was +2 minutes. Then how many minutes would it be? How many minutes would it be from 9:17 to 9:30? Can you do that in your journals really quickly? From 9:17 to 9:30. Go ahead and solve that very quickly.
Stop.
Any ideas? How would you get started?
Oh, I know.
How would you start, Topher?
I'd start by adding 3 to get 9:20, and then I'd add 10, so that'd be 13.
So Topher says if I add 3 minutes, that's going to get me to 9:20. And then, Lily, how much from 20 to 9:30?
10.
Yep, and then plus 10 more minutes, and I would get to 9:30. So how much time passed from the first time she asked me at 9:15 until the third time she asked me at 9:30? 2 minutes plus 3 minutes is 5 minutes. 2 plus 3 is 5. Plus 10 would be, what did you say, Katie? 15 minutes. So how many minutes passed in those 3 times? Total? How many total minutes passed? 15, right. So a couple things that we got to thinking about was,
15 plus 15 is 30.
it is, yeah, you could have seen that as the big picture, right, if we did it all at the same time. So pencils down for just a moment. A couple big aha moments that we had this morning that we wanted to share with you about timelines. We call these timelines because why? Why might we have called it a timeline, Bryce?
Because, well, you're basically just adding time and subtracting time, like up there on the board.
Uh-huh.
And I subtracted, but Anne-Marie added.
So, just like this, if I said, I left my driveway at 9:15, and I arrived at Target at 9:40. How long did it take me to get to Target?
I got it.
Originally, Anne-Marie, what was your idea? What strategy did you use to find out the distance from here to there in time?
I added a 5 to 15.
So Anne-Marie said she's going to add up. It took her 5 minutes to get to what time?
To 9:20.
To 9:20, and then,
I know that 20 plus 20 is 40, so I just added another 20.
so if 20 plus 20 is 40, then she added another 20 minutes, and now she's at 9:40. So how many minutes did it take from her house to Target? How many minutes, Riley? From her house to Target, how many minutes did it take her to get there? 25, 5 minutes, and then 20 minutes. But Bryce thought about it differently. And Bryce, can you describe it with words how you thought about it?
What I did, I had to describe it with words.
So Bryce, you said that you would subtract back, right? Yep, you can come forward. Yeah, just talk really loud.
So what I would do is I would minus 10. And that would give me to
But don't put your hand on the board.
9:30.
Because if you put your hand on the board, it's me.
And then that would give me to 9:30.
Me too.
And then I know that 15 plus 15 would equal 30. So then I would just minus 1 minus 15. And then that would get me to 9:15.
So how many minutes passed from 9:15 to 9:40, Bryce?
Um,
25 minutes. Is that what Anne-Marie found? That the distance was 25 minutes? The difference in time? So, and there are other ways to do it as
So
well.
if you add
Bryce.
15, the 15 that would be 9:30, and then if you add 10, then 9:40. So,
Oh.
15 plus 10 is
15 plus
That's
10?
what I did.
So you could, hold on just a
your
second.
basics back and everything, so you can do like 1 plus 1
So, Brian-
and then add 10.
So Nick thought about it as you could add 15 to get to 9:30 and then add 10 to get to 9:40. So yeah, there are other ways of doing it. Does this look familiar to a normal number line?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you count up on a number line?
Yeah.
Can you subtract back on a number line?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's the difference between a timeline and a number line? Who can tell me the difference?
You're adding and subtracting the time on the timeline,
Uh-huh.
but on the number line, you're adding and subtracting the number.
Okay. And okay, so a timeline, you're adding and subtracting with time, and a number line, you're doing it with just numbers. But where does a number line, so Lily, let's look at this number line for instance. Pam
It
said
starts at the beginning.
a number line could be from 5 to 10. I set it whatever I want it to be, correct or incorrect? You set it to be whatever you want it to be, right? Whatever numbers you're dealing with. And then you can add and subtract within those numbers. But Gracie, does a number line ever stop?
No, because numbers never stop.
Exactly.
Stop.
But let's look at a timeline. Taryn is
Time doesn't necessarily.
When I tell somebody like
Keeps
a really
on
going
going,
number like 9999999, people are like, that's not a number.
right, but now we're talking about time. Time doesn't stop, but time has a point where it changes, right, Taryn? You're kind of thinking something happens. So Lily, let's say that I start. We gave the illustration that
Time doesn't stop.
Are you listening first? Anne Marie, we were talking about Anne Marie's little sister Lillian, and if Lillian's mom, let's say Lillian's mom laid her down for a nap at 9:12, right? And she said, Lillian, I want you to sleep for 65 minutes.
An hour and 9 minutes.
Right, and Lillian probably wouldn't understand, but let's say that that's her mom's goal.
It's at 12 o'clock.
So she wants her to sleep for 65 minutes. If she's going to sleep for 65 minutes, is it still going to be 9-something when she wakes up? Turn and tell your partner. Is it still going to be 9-something when she wakes up? No.
No.
Turn and tell your partner.
This one is. You said something from the story a little different. It was 9:27, not 9:30.